Not sure if you can hear me over the wind. I'm going to try to talk anyways. It's about 9:10 a.m. We've been underway for about 4 hours now. We left right around 5 a.m. We're about 12 miles off the coast of Marco Island with about 105 miles left to go. I guess this is our first time saying so on the video, but we're heading to Key West. Key West is where we're going to call home for the next little bit. So we got about 105 miles left to go. And yeah, it's a nice day out. About a 1 and 2 foot chop out. We're getting right into the wind. So it's pretty comfy right now, but we'll see as we get further away from land how the conditions change or if they hold steady. But so far so good. Another, let's see, about 105 miles. So depending, it can take us anywhere from 8 to 10 hours to get in, depending on what speed we want to go in at. We're doing just over 9.5 knots right now, and we're going to hold this course, but we're going to stretch out the engines a little bit, kick it up to about 20 knots later on. But 9.5 knots is what we're going to be cruising at. So yeah, like I said, so far so good. The ladies are down below right now. And yeah, it's a good day. Clear skies, just a few clouds up ahead, so yeah, it's a really nice day to be out.
What you see here is the Key West Express approaching aft, overtaking us, and then disappearing off into the distance. With them cruising around 30 to 31 knots, this all happened in less than 15 minutes.
They're going to be there by lunch, but we'll see them by dinner time.
You got grapes.
We're in no rush. We'll probably be there longer than most of them. Taking us to Key West right now. I don't know if you know that.
It says on the map there. I don't know if I trust it, but it's somewhere out there.
If we miss it, we'll go to Cuba.
We ain't missing it.
That number, that's the tip of the northwest down. 75. Yeah, so I'd say in about 65 miles. Start to see the mainland, but we should see a couple of those small islands before then. made it.
To Key West.
We did make it. It was this was our first big offshore trip in this boat before, and probably, I think, yeah, our longest single trip so far. So that was pretty exciting. But there was a time where we both looked at each other and had to decide whether we wanted to keep going or whether we wanted to go in to land, because yeah, it wasn't all, I guess, calm and uneventful. We had a couple things happen.
Yeah, about 2 hours into our trip, we lost the starboard engine, and it just shut off without any really signs of warning signs flashing or anything. So Will went down, Mom actually took the helm for us, and I was kind of relaying information back and forth to them, and we were just like, crap. So basically it was not getting enough battery to the starboard engine. The alternator is not good on it. We need to replace the alternator on it, and so we had to turn the generator on, the small generator on, just to keep that battery up enough to keep that engine going. So it took us a little bit to figure out how to get it back started on. We had to shift it back into neutral and get them back in sync, and we got it started, thankfully, after sitting there looking at each other wondering if we should head to Marco Island and figure out what's wrong with it, or if we should press on with one engine. So we had a couple other small things, well, could have been large. We had something get stuck in our bilge or in the float switch to keep our bilge going constantly.
Yeah, I noticed that the bilge light, you watch the bilge light and see if it's like an unusual amount of time for it draining, and I noticed that the aft bilge pump light was on for longer than usual. So I went down, and there was a piece lodged in between the float switch. Thankfully something simple, but
oh yeah, and the cats didn't do so well. We tried to give them calming treats to see if that would help, but I don't think that helped. They were pretty shaken the whole time. Rabbit kind of just melted into the bed, and Turbo threw up everything we gave him
Turbo
to eat.
got seasick.
It was kind of sad. But luckily Mom was down there petting them, trying to keep them calm. I think after, 12 hours, they just had to deal with it.
Yeah.
But they recovered well. As soon as we shut the engines off, it pretty much sprung back to life.
So let any sailor tell you that the best sound there possibly could be is when you shut those engines down and let the sea and the sails carry you to your destination. That's the magic of the ocean. And it is pretty nice, to be honest with you. But with us, or with me at least, like no sound beats waking up those beasts down in the engine room. I swear, it sounds like angry wild boars running through a minefield of exploding $100 bills. But just nothing beats that sound. It's those turbos screaming. It's amazing.
We should note that we have not been to the field dock yet since arriving in Key West. We'll see if you still have that same enthusiasm.
That's what exploding $100 bills.
That's what that meant.
Yeah,
okay.
but and the wild angry boars, that's how the turbos are screaming.
That's the turbos.
So,
okay.
Yeah. In other news, another thing a blowboater will tell you is that whenever you see another boat out there on the water, it's a race. Whether the two boats know it or not, it's a race. And the truth is the same for us plower boaters, because as we were coming into the Northwest Channel, we saw this open sport fisherman just coming up on our tail, and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get waked and swamped by this thing. So we kicked it up to about 26 knots or so.
we top out at about 30 knots, and I'm pretty sure that 30 knots is that boat's cruising speed, so we wouldn't have had a chance had they known it was a race. But we were out in front, and you know what?
Kind of scary. They were coming up on us really fast, and we were like needing to slow down at that point to get our bearings of where we were going, but he was not slowing down, so we pretty much just had to maintain and go faster. And
it all happened safely. They didn't pass us. We figured out how to get into the channel without any issues, and it was great.
Welcome to Key West.